Hey now, now. Oh. No! And I say, the white gang snappers keep honking and the horns. Well, this is kind of interesting. Let's see. Let's see.
And a drive to bring it to life.
Hell no. Freaking ads.
Maybe you're sitting in your home, or you're walking down the street. Then all of a sudden, you look around. No traffic, no obstruction, no cause. Just a car in the distance, honking at nothing. Or maybe honking at you. At first you ignore it, brush it off, but then it happens again and again.
His
Different
videos are
cars,
just B-roll.
different times, same disturbing tactic. And eventually it clicks. This isn't random. This is orchestrated. But why? That's what we're exposing in today's video. If you're a targeted individual and you want more content that reveals the truth behind these tactics, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. 5 reasons gang stalkers honk their horns.
This is kind of like
1.
niche.
To get your attention. The most obvious reason. They want your attention. Just like a baby cries to be fed, changed, or held. Gang stalkers make loud, unnecessary noise because they crave something from you. They want your emotional focus, your awareness, your reaction. Your attention validates them. It feeds their insecurity. It gives them a twisted sense of connection, like they matter. You're essentially attending to their emotional needs just by acknowledging them.
One of the things that I just have recently understood about gang stalking, it is how there is going to be so much going on around the target that the target is kept reacting to these people. There is an impossible bombardment of stressors, of people who actively try to make the target feel negative emotions as hard as possible, as long as possible, as often as possible, and as many as possible. The target is kept so busy with all of these reactions that they lose notion of their own behavior. Targets are forced out of their power by forcing them to react to the actions of these people. This is, in fact, one of the most recent observations that I have made. I realized that I have been kept entertained, busy, and this has been so engulfing that I lost notion of how I was presenting myself to the world. I did not realize that I was busy reacting to their harassment, reacting to their insults, or feeling some type of emotion that these people had invoked in me. There were things that I began to do in intent to regain back my freedom. However, I did not realize that the moment that I felt the need to retaliate one way or another, or the moment where I felt the need to read about it or do something to try to understand gang stalking, that meant my power was theirs. I wasn't preoccupied with my own life anymore. I was turned into an animal because I began doing things out of instinct. And I became careless with the way that I presented myself to the world. But that is gang stalking. At least I can make videos about that and inform people that whenever you lose focus of your own behavior, your own mannerisms, the way that you carry yourself, your speech, and your own presentation to the world. When that happens, you are positively losing the game. If you are a targeted individual, you have to be utterly obsessed with every single movement that you make, with every single facial expression that you do. Why do they pick certain people? Look, the truth is that gang stalking is unfair, just like life is. In my situation, it was just random. Honestly, I feel that it was out of envy in the first place. However, the deeper you get into gang stalking, you realize that the operation itself, it creates problems and affects your behavior in such a way that get more people involved in the program. Truthfully, I stopped concerning myself with, oh my god, why was I chosen, or why is this happening to me? Look, throughout my 8 years of gang stalking, several people gave me questions intended to make me break my own head to find a reason why. Those questions were, or accusations actually, these were, this is what happens to you because of who you mess with. That was one. Another one was, this is what happens when people do something that they cannot be put in jail for. And lastly, this is what happens, this is happening to you because of what you did. The fact that different people who had actively behaved in an aggressive manner towards me, in addition to their abusive behavior, it would be illogical of me to have an expectation that they would tell me something that would actually help me. Additionally, considering the fact that I was told vague questions that implied different things. For example, one implied that I did something wrong. The other one implied that I messed with the wrong person. The other one implied that I did something illegal. If there was any type of truth behind any of those questions or behind any of those accusations, the accusation would have been consistent the entire time. However, the fact that the accusations were all different tells me that the only reason that these people made these accusations was only to keep me more confused, taking into consideration that the entire operation of gang stalking is to keep the target wondering. It is only obvious that those accusations were meant to confuse me further and not necessarily to help. So, to answer your question, don't worry yourself with why this is happening to you. Because if you keep asking yourself that, you are only going to dig yourself deeper in the hole, break down your mind further, and you're going to feed straight into the gang stalking operation. What you have to do, being a targeted individual, is to be obsessively focused with everything that you say, every move that you do, every step that you take, with the intention of being so focused on how you portray yourself to the world. Because the moment that you become so busy reacting to the actions of those people, they have officially taken your power away from you. Gang stalking is going to take all your attention away from you thinking clearly, making plans for the future, making the right choices, and living your life. You have to block out anyone that is keeping you from making those observations, or anyone that is trying to keep you away from focusing on yourself. You have to fight to focus on yourself as hard as possible, because you will be bombarded by a bunch of people trying to take that attention away from you. And the moment that you refuse to give away your attention to any of those people, only then you are going to be able to maintain your power. That is the only way that you are going to beat gang stalking, is if you refuse to allow them to rush you, to push you into taking any type of action that will work against you. You have to have utter and absolute focus in your best interest. Once you do that, everything that gang stalkers make and do, all their noise, all their insinuations, all their harassment, will literally become irrelevant, because you're going to be so busy making sure that your behavior, your composure, and your speech is utterly confident, purposeful, and filled with pride and dignity. Once you do that, you are going to notice that you're going to be so focused on how you show yourself to the world that anything that gang stalkers do becomes meaningless, and it will not have any impact on your behavior. First and foremost, you have to focus on your behavior and not allow anyone to keep you from thinking about it. Once you do that and you keep doing that, you are going to win. Gang stalkers only win if you are focused on them and if you are constantly reacting to the things that they are doing to you.
That's why it never ends with one honk. They'll keep doing it until you notice.
Thank you for the question.
2. To pull you into their reality. Gang stalkers view you as an extension of themselves. They envy your independence, your autonomy, your peace. So they need to possess you, energetically, emotionally, even mentally. By honking and watching for your response, they try to fuse you to them, get you to operate in sync with them. Their noise, your reaction. Because when you live freely, on your own timeline, it triggers their fragility. It reminds them that they are irrelevant, insignificant, left behind. The honk is like a rope they throw to pull you into their twisted little world. Three,
I don't like this
to
camera.
distract you from yourself.
And that's true. It distracts
Distraction
you from
is
yourself.
control. And if they can keep you distracted, they can stop you from returning to your own priorities, your own purpose.
That is utterly true.
They don't just want to distract you from peace. They want to block you from aligning with genuine people who might validate your identity, who might see you.
That is another truth. During my gang stalking, there were times where there was someone who was a genuinely good person. And I noticed that the gang stalkers would actively try to pull me away from interacting with that person in any way, shape, or form. They actively did their best to prevent me from meeting people who were not like that. If you are a targeted individual, you have to understand that gang stalkers are really good at noticing if a person has a good character or if anyone is of good nature. And if you are a targeted individual and you happen to be somewhere with a good person and a gang stalker, you will see that the gang stalker will actively try to keep you from getting to know the good natured person. It is so insane. And their behavior or their intention, you will not notice it unless you too are able to recognize the nature of someone. I wasn't used to distinguishing the nature of people about the first 4 years of gang stalking. I wasn't able to recognize it. However, with time, gang stalkers became more prominent. They were impossible to get out of my life. And After spending a lot of time with people that had ill intentions towards me, I began to see them clearly. People that have an ill intention towards you move differently, they talk differently. You can see the intentions on their face. And look, it wasn't obvious I had to get gang stalked for 4 years before I could see these nuances between the behavior of people. Due to the contrast of being in the presence of a gang stalker and being in the presence of a normal person, it became significantly easier to be able to discern between someone who is ill intentioned and some who is not. So, in the beginning, you are not going to have any tools to discern between someone who is a gang stalker or not. Them and normal people are going to be practically identical, which is why it's so important for you to only hang out with people that are actively pursuing their goals, pursuing their careers, and who have positively impacted your life. It becomes more difficult to see this when the way that someone is bringing you down is by going out with you to clubs, to parties. But when going out to the parties or whatever it is that this person encourages you to do, you have to consider the effect that letting yourself be pulled by the suggestions of this person had in your career, in your well-being, in your state of mind, in your actions, in your finances. Because it's easy to get carried away by a good time to the point where you become oblivious to how having all that fun is affecting your persona and your job. And because you had fun with a person, you will make an emotional connection with a person and with fun, which is going to blind you from seeing the effect that is having in your life, which is what you have to always be supremely concerned with. Anyone that is encouraging you to go out or do anything that results in a DUI, in an addiction, in a problem, stay away from those people, because that is the hardest thing to see. You will be so blindsided by the fun and by the facade of the person that you are going to not see how engaging with this person and following the person around is affecting your priorities in life. Never ever put your priorities in life second. And if anything affects them negatively, regardless if it is a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a family member, a friend, regardless of how long you have known this person, if a person keeps encouraging you to do things that are impacting your body, like if you're losing too much weight or being too much or getting too fat, when you are trying to lose weight, be cautious, because that is how these people operate. They want to make you believe that they are your friend because you are more open to their influence. If you are too open to the influence of people who appear to be friendly, you are a prime subject for gang stalking. That's who I was. I used to believe everything. I thought that everyone had good intentions towards me, and I was so wrong. Like, so wrong. Let's see. So thank you for all your help. The Celestine Prophecy, it's a book, nonfiction, speaks about people's energy, how it can be misused. Yeah, I read it a really long time ago. Like, people will use your energy and we can't grow as we should. Exactly. They take your attention away from the things that you care about. If you are not aware of this, it is so easy to get carried away. It is super easy to get carried away. The thing is that a lot of these people can be your friends, or it can be even someone who claims to love you. That is the thing about narcissistic personality disorder. That is what people talk about, that these narcissists convince the target that they are meant for each other, that they are your twin flame, when in reality, the person is simply doing things to keep convincing you that they love you, and it makes you completely oblivious to how you are feeling about yourself, to how your body is changing, your personality, your sense of guilt. And in the end, you can be meant to lose everything because you weren't able to distinguish between the results of the actions of a person and what they were saying to you. Someone who would tell you that they love you would never later accuse you of being a nobody or being less than them or being anything other than the love of their life. You have to accept that anyone who encourages you to take any action that results in your demise is your enemy. And your enemies you have to stay away from. Gang stalkers, narcissists hate you, but they will never tell you. Their way of destroying you is by pretending to be your friend or your lover while destroying your life. They destroy you and you see it. However, you are so blinded by their words and their lies that you don't notice until it's too late. Love is not negative. Nothing about love should be negative. For people forget this. Absolutely. Or stay away from gaslighters. Exactly. Let's see.
Because if you reclaimed your sense of self, they lose control. So that beep isn't just noise, it's an interruption, a redirect,
Yeah,
an attack on your inner stillness.
exactly.
4. To provoke fear and confusion.
At some point, being scrappy turned into being self-destructive. Every time something slipped, an email, a meeting, a follow-up, I blamed myself. Too disorganized, not focused enough, and bad at time management. But the
Sudden loud noises activate your nervous system. They push you into fight or flight. Why do they do this? Because once you're in a state of panic, fear, or confusion, you become pliable. You second guess yourself.
That's true.
You look around for answers. And eventually, you start looking to them. It's bait. They want to disrupt your calm so they can present themselves as the center of your attention. The horn becomes a psychological anchor. It creates an emotional imprint, a conditioned reaction. And the next
They
time you
hate it
hear
when we
it,
claim ourselves
your
and reach
body
potential.
tenses,
Exactly.
even if you tell yourself not to. This is psychological harassment, plain and simple.
The moment that you begin reacting to everything that they do, to everything that you say, that is when you have effectively lost your power. If you are targeted, you have to be utterly obsessed with every single word that you say, with every single thing that you do, to the point where anything that these people do becomes irrelevant. You have to be utterly obsessed with your hobbies, your goals, and your dreams. You have to be obsessed with your performance. And once you reach a point where you are so focused on what you are doing to do the best you can do in every single way, shape, and form, anything that happens around you will become irrelevant. It won't matter because your focus is not gang stalking. Your focus is you, your words, and your performance. And that is exactly what you should always be focused on. You have to never allow anyone to take your attention away from your goals and your dreams, regardless of who that person is. The moment that you allow that to happen, you are reactive.
5. To feed their delusion of power. Many gang stalkers are deeply insecure, emotionally stunted, and cowardly. So what do? They hide in their cars, behind windshields, moving quickly, masked by distance and speed. They honk, then drive
Improving
away.
yourself feels like
It's
they
an
get further
emotional
away, focus on
drive-by.
you 100%. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
They know you can't confront them. They don't have to take
Mustafa
responsibility.
saying, you
They
rest
feel
workout day, bro.
untouchable.
I don't show live.
But here's
Huh?
the irony. They're so focused on you, so obsessed with provoking
What do
you,
you mean, Mustafa?
that many of them literally crash their cars or swerve recklessly. You may have even seen it, because they're distracted, fixated. They're trying to
One thing that happened to me during my gang stalking operation was when I I stopped paying for insurance when for my car. And I didn't just stop paying for it because I didn't have any money. I had money. But the reason that I stopped paying for it was because I overheard a conversation at work, which later on I understood that it was purposeful. The whole store was quiet when I was working at O'Reilly Auto Parts. And all I heard was one of my coworkers. The my coworker was saying, "Oh yeah, I don't pay for insurance because the $300 a month is too much, and the ticket for not having insurance is only like $300, so I save a lot of money." I listened to it and I accepted it. During that time, I was using a lot of illicit substances, and I was heavily harassed, including by my coworkers. Well, not a lot of illicit substances. I was using illicit substances, but never to the point where I became stupid. Not ever. So I believed it and I stopped paying for insurance. I got stopped by the cops like 4 times after that, and none of them asked me for my insurance card. None of them. So that tells you there was something going on. Mustafa, thank you so much for the salutations. Hello, I hope you're doing well. So I know this is a far reaching theory. But look, cops have lied to me about my registration. They have said that my car wasn't registered when it was. And cops have actively done the same thing that gang stalkers do, the weird hand wave and the hand the hand signal and the grin. A cop should never lie to a citizen. And asking someone for their insurance is protocol. After that conversation, the times that I was stopped by the cops, no cops in a row, 3, 4 times. No one asked me for insurance, and they all expressed some type of anger or any type of disappointment when they saw that I was in my car playing Nintendo Switch or doing something that was not self-destructive. That is how insane gang stalking is. That there are actually so many people involved that what happens to the target is so impossible that whenever the target tries to tell anyone about their experiences, they are discounted as crazy or as whatever. And no one that has not experienced gang stalking would believe the target. No one, because the possibility of that happening is close to none. Hey Savannah Nova, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out. I hope you're doing good. So during your gang stalking operation, always have insurance. Always have all your papers in order. Follow all the traffic laws all the time. Do not do anything stupid. Because gang stalking is all about moving things around you, manipulating your environment, and being told things by people that are intended to make you make choices that will work against you, such as driving recklessly, driving under the influence, or doing anything that will work against your best interest, such as spending money recklessly, or when you are trying to have the best body because that's what you do. Like me, by profession, I am a personal trainer. I have been a personal trainer for more than 10 years. And guess what? The moment that I began to get in shape, a bunch of people, especially at work, began offering me food. They began asking me about all these crazy foods. What are your favorite fries? What are this? What are that? And let me tell you, their tactics worked marvelously because I had a six pack, and 6 months later, I was a big fat pig who was eating Wiener Schnitzel every freaking day. I'm not lying to you. That they are that good. So any person that is harassing you, be incredibly suspicious of anything that they tell you, because any type of casual conversation that these people will incite, or any weird question that will make you think of illicit substances, of eating things that will make you fat. You have to consider your particular situation, because I am a fitness professional, and me having a nice body will help me perpetuate my profession. It will help me stay on top of my game. But in order to stop me from being able to get more clients, gang stalkers manipulated my environment, and they spoke to me with the intention of making me think of things that will lead to actions that would work against my best interest. The moment where I was finally decided to being on a diet, regardless of what happened around me, my coworkers began asking me, "Hey, are you gonna eat pizza? Are you gonna have a burger? Are you gonna have this?" I was like, "No, I'm on a diet. No, I'm on a diet. No, I'm on a diet." And I saw their disappointment. They looked amongst themselves, and they were said, "Oh well, I didn't know you had such much willpower." Like that. They said it with a tone of disappointment. Their expressions, their tones of voice, and their mannerisms, their reactions to my decisions, is what told me what their intentions were the entire time. So always pay attention to how people react whenever it is that you do not allow yourself to get carried away with pizza at work. A great way to test this is whenever you are in doubt of someone's intentions, tell them something amazing that you have accomplished. tell them of something really good that happened to you and be watchful of their reaction to it. Look at their face. And if they happen to not be well intentioned towards you, you are going to see on their face a flash of envy, of anger. They can't hide it because it takes milliseconds, it takes maybe even longer for the conscious mind to catch on to the expression that is being invoked by the character, by consciousness. So you will see that it will escape. A flash of the envy or of the anger is going to escape from their face, and they're going to actively retract it, hoping that you do not see it. But pay attention to their face and believe what you see. Gang stalkers will try to emulate facial expressions. However, the expressions of gang stalkers, you can see that they are forced. You can see that they are not well timed. And believe me, I fell for their fake facial expressions a lot of times, a lot, for like the first 4 years. So be aware that they will fake facial expressions. They will. So Donna is saying, gang stalkers seem like people whose demons rule them and want to see destruction in others. I think you are absolutely right. That is exactly what I have experienced. And let me tell you, the amount of them is impossible to believe. The moment that you are stuck in a room full of people, like 50, and all of them are actually actively harassing you at the same time with the intention to make you paranoid, it is the most surreal experience anyone could possibly have. Once you see that, you will still be in disbelief of how many people only will try to get in touch with you with the intention of leading you astray. Don't doubt your intuition. Anything that makes you feel less than or that impacts you negatively, regardless of who it is and of how many there are, stay away from them. Because what makes gang stalking so impossible to believe and to beat is the sheer amount of people that you have to actively stay away from. On my Facebook, I have more than 500 people blocked. On my YouTube channel, on the live streams, every single live stream, I block 2 or 3 people, sometimes 4. And when that happens, the stream comes down. The harassment comes down. And the harassment of gang stalking comes in many forms. In my case, it is uncalled for mentions of illicit substances, of anything that has to do with intimacy, or any type of accusation of me being a degenerate or anything along those lines. So let's see. Dawn23 is saying, gang stalkers act like devil disciples controlled by their own demons and projecting onto innocent people. Yeah, absolutely. When you see evil, believe it. Believe it. Let's see.
Powerful, but what they're really doing is exposing how weak and impulsive they are. They crash because they can't stop watching you. Let's call it what it is. This isn't dominance. It's not confidence. It's cowardice. They hide in motion, in noise, in vehicles. They act bold, but only when there's zero risk of confrontation. They beep and run. It's all part of a false persona, an avatar. They construct to feel powerful.
This company is going viral for its new process that gives you
They
permanent
are
teeth
cowards.
in just
They
24
literally
hours.
hide
If you're
between-
missing 5 or more teeth,
behind-
Nuvia Dental Implant Center has a life-changing solution. No dentures, no temps, no
Behind their
partials,
gaslighting?
and no waiting months for your finals. They're changing lives with next-day smiles that look, function, and feel real.
But it's fake.
Regardless of how cowards they are, regardless of them being whatever evil narcissists, you cannot deny the effectiveness and the sheer power that these people have through gang stalking. I was steered as far away from being myself as ever. And I didn't even notice it. I didn't notice it because I didn't understand how I didn't there was no way that I could conceive or even consider that people were actively trying to steer me away from reaching my dreams. You know what I mean? It makes no logical sense. And that is what keeps it so powerful, because only after you have been kept away from reaching your goals for many years and you start noticing that the behavior of the people has been different, or the people that have tried to get in touch with you has been particularly different. And this sudden change of the behavior of people began when your life also took a wrong turn. Only then you will be able to understand that you are getting gang stalked. Which is exactly why it's so important to never steer away from your goals and dreams and your best body, and always be suspicious of anything that is trying to push you away from that. Because you never know that you're getting gang stalked until you're way deep in the game. And the only way that you can stay out of it is by not allowing anyone or anything to pull you away from taking care of your mind and your body as much as possible, as often as possible.
What kind of person needs to honk a car horn to feel significant? Someone who has no real sense of self. Someone who needs to project power because they feel powerless. You can block this out. Here's how.
Do you think
Use
gang
white
stalkers
noise.
can change?
fans, AC units,
You know,
or water sound.
honestly, I don't think they want to. Why would you change if you know that you are part of a thing where if anyone messes with you, or if you hate anyone enough or are envious of anyone enough, you can set this whole thing in motion that will pretty much destroy an individual. It Gang stalking, I believe, is one of the reasons why narcissists always do all of these things without fear of of repercussions. They only worry about maintaining a clear a clear reputation. That is the only thing that matters to them, their reputation. And if there is anyone that is doing things to tarnish it, that they cannot stop, they can be like, hey, this person, even though my gang stalking operation began for absolutely no reason. I honestly believe that my gang stalking began out of envy. I'm certain. I'm totally certain. True, why would they want to walk away from the power? Yeah. So, look, if you are a gang stalker, all you have to do, if you are a target, if you are a gang stalker, is to cough and to move your hand weirdly and to whisper things. And that's it. And doing that makes you part of the team. When you do that, you know that anyone who dares to mess with you, you can put something in motion. And look, I also believe, though, that this is the primary reason why a lot of gang stalkers are unhappy with themselves. Because they don't have to do much to feel powerful. All they have to do is to do the gang stalking. And even if they don't continuously strive to get abs or continuously strive to reach their dreams or become the best they can possibly be, they will still have a sense of power. I believe that it is like a drug that keeps you feeling so good to the point where you don't have to work towards the things that will bring you genuine happiness, because you are entertained with the synthetic happiness. So you stop trying. Gang stalkers, in my opinion, a lot of them are still not fully realized as an individual, because you don't really have to. You really don't. You already are gonna have power. So why would you want to change anything when you're already you're already pretty much unfuckwithable. And anyone who decides to see, will live the consequences, will face the consequences.
Close windows and doors. Use soundproofing where possible. Headphones when outdoors. Listen to music, travel videos, or foreign radio. Engage with content unrelated to your surroundings, something gang stalkers can't influence. Reclaim your attention. Anchor into yourself, not the noise. Gang stalkers live in emotional darkness. They are prisoners of their own unresolved trauma.
I believe some of them refuse to heal from past trauma. Some are from the streets looking to get paid. Some are straight up psychopaths who torment for entertainment. It's all sick. Yeah, I totally agree.
Pull you into it. Don't let them. The horn means nothing unless you choose to give it meaning. And even then, they only echo it back to confuse, control, and humiliate. There's nothing powerful about constant honking. It only reveals their instability. Their deep need to be seen because they feel like nothing. Remember, you're not imagining this. You're not alone. This tactic, like all others, is about control. But the
One thing though that you have to understand is that whenever you experience any of this, you have to believe your eyes. You have to believe it, because everyone is going to be telling you that you are crazy, and people are going to approach you pretending to be friendly or trying to have a casual conversation with you, when they are also hinting at things or doing weird things, such as calling you a loser when they like whispering behind their breath, only to deny it when you ask them, hey, did you just whisper this? They're going to be like, you're hearing things. And this, even though a single instance of it is stupid, when you experience a lot of this for years, you will start doubting what you are hearing and what you are seeing. Some of the things that these people do are so absurd that if you tell anyone what any one of these people are doing, the things are so illogical and so infantile at times that it is impossible for anyone to believe you, and even harder for the victim to believe it. So believe your eyes. However, before you do that, you have to make sure to not take any illicit substance, be well rested, make sure to eat, and once you do that, you will know that you are significantly less susceptible to any type of influence. You want to have a strong mind. If you are a victim of gang stalking, if you are dealing with anyone who is a narcissist, you want to make sure to always take care of your body, take care of your mind, and be utterly aware with everything that you do and say. If you are constantly concerned about how someone is going to disagree with something that you want to do, that is part of your character. For example, if I want to go to the gym and it gets my wife upset, and even when I'm doing everything to be a good husband, and I know that her being upset at my desire to go to the gym is unfair, that in itself is a red flag. Because even when I'm not doing anything wrong in the gym and there's no suspicion and I'm doing my duties as a man, my wife, I don't know, accusing me of flirting or doing things that will prevent me from doing that, that is toxic behavior. If you want to make sure to always be careful to why anyone gets upset at you. I had a partner once who got upset that I was working on a tan and that I was so focused on my fitness. Who are you getting so hot for, huh? Like, what, dude? It makes no sense. And the anger was so irrational and so overwhelming that I didn't understand it. I was in a situation where I couldn't get out of it. And it took about 2 years of abuse for me to understand how bad it had gotten. I was engaged to this person, and it was only because I understood that this person was actively manipulating me and bending my will by accusing me endlessly, by doing things to make me feel like to put me in a frenzy. And I'm telling you this happened. This person literally threw $500 out on the street. This person literally threw 5 bills of 100 and came running to me, and it was, oh my god, I lost $500. I think I dropped them somewhere outside. And because I was completely oblivious to this type of behavior, I ran outside and began looking for the money. And I found it, of course. But never in a million years would I think that that was part of him getting my emotions riled up, only to tell me something later or tell me something immediately after that would make it more likely for me to accept. His strategy was to make me feel like I helped him and to make me feel a sense of panic. Only to ask something of me later. And let me tell you, it worked marvelously. They were hating you for you trying to be able to be your best self. Glad you got away from them. Yeah, it is so insane how many people will turn against you when all that you have ever wanted was to be the best version of yourself. It is so illogical. And the fact that out of any person, it had to be me. Me because I come from nothing. Only, I don't know. It is such an impossibility and an absurdity because I was literally a nobody who was trying to be a good personal trainer. And just doing that triggered a lot of people. And let me tell you, your success will trigger the worst of the worst. Which is exactly why, if you are trying to be your best, you have to be incredibly discerning of the intentions of people, and you have to not allow anyone to deviate you from doing that. I had been clean for 10 years, and someone whom I had known for 2 years pulled out a bag of crystal meth and was like, "Here, do you want some?" Out of the blue. And I felt for it. That was one of the first steps into my downfall of gang stalking. Even though my gang stalking began before that moment. Just let me tell you. However, I have a suspicion that the first domino was that person. However, I will never know, and I will not break my head trying to find out, because that is going to only going to make me break myself. I mean, I have nothing to gain I have nothing to gain by lamenting of who it was or why. You know, actually, gang stalkers enjoy very much watching a disheveled and destroyed person talking about the things that they have caused in a person. Gang stalkers, I'm sure, enjoy very much watching me talk about the things that they have produced in my life and the things that they have made me do. And look, I don't care. What I care is spreading the awareness of gang stalking through fitness and through these videos, because that is the only way that I can make the best of the 8 years that I have lived, is to make sure that there is enough evidence and enough testimonial to help anyone who can possibly go through it, or anyone that is currently going through it, so that they can understand it and take decisions that will help them deal with the monster that is gang stalking.
Truth is, they only need to control you because they've already lost control over themselves. Stay strong, stay grounded, stay out of their world.
The only time that I have seen gang stalkers get upset is when they have lost control of the target. During my gang stalking, the very last 2 years, I learned how to behave as stoic as I could possibly muster, and that behavior was enough to make them upset. I saw them try a lot of things to make me react and get me in a frenzy, and none of those things were working. But it took me 2 years of their tactics for me to really learn to get a hold of myself. Then it is until now, just a couple of days ago, where I finally began maintaining my composure. Notice that on my previous videos, I behaved like if I was in a panic. I behaved with anxiety. I spoke out of instinct, out of emotion. And since I understood how gang stalker or gang stalking has affected my behavior and the way that I carried myself. Only then I was able to regain my composure. I was living like an animal, only reacting to the things that these people would do instead of focusing on my own behavior and my own performance.
If you want one-on-one coaching to equip yourself with the tools to survive gang stalking, check the link in the description. Drop a comment if this resonated with you. Like, share, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let's grow this community of empowered survivors.
Let's see, what else is here? There we go. Let's see. So Savannah Nova is saying, I became a TI when I was living a very toxic lifestyle. Woke up one day and realized I wanted better for my life. I thought the gang stalking would end, but it was quite the opposite and became more intense. Yeah. When you shine and are happy, people try to break that. I'm typically cheerful. People hate it and try to break me. I've walked away from many. Life is too short to keep misery company. Exactly. Exactly. I'm super happy for you, Savannah. Glad you made it out, Savannah. It always gets worse the better you do. That's absolutely right. The one thing that can keep you from allowing these people to worsen your situation is to become really good at recognizing their behavioral patterns. Pay attention to the things that made you uneasy, the red flags, the things that these people did that made you begin doubting, only to later realize that those were the signs that you needed to pay attention to. Every person leaves clues and red flags about their behavior. Every single person will tell you with their body language, with their facial expressions, with their tone of voices, with their reactions to what you tell them, and their reaction to when they look at you. If you look really good, you're gonna see when they look at you that they will express some type of anger or disappointment. This is really common, and it is one of the easiest way to tell whether or not someone is toxic. Anyone that gets mad at your self-improvement, you have to be incredibly aware of, because there are situations where you cannot get out of their sight. Like if it's like a boyfriend or if it's someone that you do business with. So let's see. Becoming healthy in mind, body, and soul is the only way to combat their lame tactics to destroy. Yeah, and you have to focus. You have to have an unbreakable focus on that. The moment that you allow anyone to break that focus, and you're too busy reacting to their antics, that is you losing the battle. You have to have an unbreakable focus on your self-improvement. Let's see. I wonder if there are any new videos that Dr. Ramani has put out. While she was in Vogue? Wow. I haven't listened to any, I haven't seen any video from Dr. Ramani in a while. Let's see.
Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani, and I want to share with you about my healing program for survivors of narcissistic relationships that not all of you may know about. This program.
Okay, that's an ad. Sorry, Dr. Ramani, I love you, but I don't think you will ever make any gang stalking recovery programs. Although I feel like I'm handling pretty well.
They don't believe how toxic this is.
Let's talk about the seasons of the narcissistic relationship. I know
Seasons.
we talk about the cycles.
Dude, has she gained some weight, or am I seeing things? What happened, Dr. Ramani?
Of bomb, devalue, blah, blah, blah. But there is another set of cycles we don't talk about. And these aren't cycles as much as I think they could actually be better viewed as seasons. Granted, seasons do cycle through, but they come and they pass and time marches on.
I'm getting hungry.
Let's break down what I'm going to call the seasons of the narcissistic relationship from the experiential point of view of the person in the relationship. Some of these overlap with the relationship cycle, the love bombing, etc., but some are unique to the experience and perspective of the person who was in the relationship and being narcissistically abused. So let's talk about season 1.
Maybe, but look at her face.
Season 1 is the season of novelty and maybe even the season of delight. In some cases, this is love bombing. It could just be plain old-fashioned idealization. Now, for example, if this is a parent, it may harken back to the time when you still held that parent up on a pedestal or still trying to win them over because you thought they were some kind of hero. They may have seemed larger than life. In adult relationships, this is about being in something special, being seen. It may be exciting, it may be comforting, it may feel like something that erases old wounds. Narcissistic relationships feel bigger, more special than other relationships initially, which is why they are dangerous. They often feel like a balm on our old wounds, or even just something that sweeps us away or inspires us. Season 1 is quite a season, and one we often yearn for after it has passed. Now, season 2 is the season of confusion and despair. This can often overlap with both devaluation and discard. There is a moment when the narcissistic stuff starts popping out more consistently. The delight and idealization and specialness or magic gets stained with their selfishness, entitlement, manipulation, triangulation, gaslighting. Initially, you may believe you can't be seeing or reading this right. You may push back and say, whoa, 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 wait a minute, what's going on here? And they will push back and outmaneuver you, as they do, because they gaslight and you don't.
Yeah.
This is a dangerous season because just like when summer becomes fall and there are a slew of warm days and then bam, an early frost comes along and you aren't prepared for it, those warm days are still seductive. The blast of cold air throws you off and is a reminder of what more is to come. In this season of confusion and despair, you still are very much still in the good stuff part of this and still enjoying that. So when this crappy, narcissistic, antagonistic stuff gets thrown in there, and at this point, you do not know what it is. The subtle shifts, it's like when seasons change, the days getting a minute shorter each day start to happen. Dynamic.
Savannah's saying, I've watched a lot of her videos and Narc Survivor too. Super helpful in understanding NPD, which I knew nothing about until I had been abused by several narcissists. Same here. Same here. The one, my hardest one was the only one that was hard enough for me to have to look into.
Breadcrumbs.
It was about the time when COVID was rampant.
The most problematic thing that happens in season 2 is that you not only think you can fix it.
As a therapist myself, I know how important
What happened?
You blame yourself when it doesn't work. You read relationship books. You try really hard. And the self blame starts really setting in. Because season one, magic, delight, are still very fresh in your mind. And you keep asking yourself, why can't I bring that back? It's like wishing for a summer day when the fall cold is in place. Now, unlike the seasons in a calendar, these are not balanced seasons. They don't all last for 3 months, for example. Some of these seasons may last for months. Season one, unfortunately, rarely lasts as long as we want it to. And season two, quite frankly, can go on for years. Season two sucks because it's here where the harms of these relationships really kind of get set into us. And we get filled with the shame and the general ick of these relationships. Then we go to season three. Season three is the season of seeing it. And this is a big season. Frankly, I would argue it's as miraculous as a season
one of the things
as when we see.
that is really interesting is that gang stalking and narcissism is practically the same thing. They do the same things. They literally do the same things. And that includes the flying monkeys. I feel that gang stalking is at the heart of narcissistic personality disorder. I feel that almost like that all narcissists are always looking for a target. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like they're constantly on the lookout for anyone who would be like engulfed in this. So hang on, I have to go pee and I have to get something to eat. I will be right back. I'll be right back. Hang on. Let's see. How do they fit so many in that little car? Let's see. I often wonder if they have some type of manual they use. All their tactics have the same mechanics when you began to analyze. It is just simply on how to manipulate people. So there's only one way of manipulating people, or a lot of ways, but there is a limited number of manipulating people, or to make someone feel an emotion or whatever. They must have a club. I know that they share tactics. I know. So I know for a fact that they show tactics amongst themselves on what works with a certain individual. What's for dinner? So we're having rice, beans, and caldo de albóndigas, or like Mexican meatball soup or stew. Either or. I'm not sure which one of the both. I'm not sure which one of those.
Daffodils push through in the spring. Gives me renewed faith every year. Frankly, I vote for season 3 to be the most profound and important season of all. The season where we finally see it. Now, you may say, well, Dr. Romani, doesn't this season suck? Because it is also a season
It's the best one.
recognizing that all these unpleasant things are a pattern that can't change, and all the icky and bleak radical acceptance stuff. Yes, but it beats the hell out of blaming yourself. It's a season of enlightenment, of awareness. But this is the season when maybe at this point you've read a book or talked to a therapist who pointed out the patterns, listened to a podcast, heard some videos, whatever it is. But it starts to become abundantly clear what you are dealing with. And you may resist this season. For example, it's like you keep wearing
They're
the
super
shorts
yummy.
even though it's a cold fall day. And you may embrace it because it helps you make sense of it. Each story is different. And this season can be filled with both relief and grief. And radical acceptance may not come right away. But you will start to see the patterns, anticipate them, and see it as a them thing and not as much of a you thing.
Yeah.
Season 4.
Woo! Can I get your email address? Because I want to send you a gazillion dollars of free stuff so you don't light your money on fire when you're trying to get customers.
Is the season of not being able to unsee it. This is in many ways the season of liberation. And you may wonder, what's the difference between this and the season of seeing it? In season 3, there may still be some residual trauma bonding. A few moments where you still may get pulled in or disappointed.
Yeah.
You may get lulled by the normal or nice days. In the season of seeing it, you may even still feel a little bit guilty for seeing it. You see it, but you don't want to see it. Well, in season 4, the season of not being able to unsee it, I know that's a double negative, but oh well. But this is it. This is radical acceptance all the way through. It's disengaging, it's engaging differently, it's getting out in some cases. It's no longer feeling as guilty or feeling bad for seeing it and calling it, at least to yourself, what it is. In this season, you are able to see that even on the good days, the selfishness and entitlement, the control, still peek through. It's who they are, and it's how they go through the world. Sometimes the only shame of this season, of not being able to unsee it, involves looking back and cringing at some of the stuff you put up with.
Season 3 is when I
after
planned
being
the exit
so
strategy.
clear about it.
Suddenly, I've learned you have
This
to
is a
have
season, I've got to be frank
a
with you,
strategy to
not
leave the
everybody
north,
gets
to minimize the
season
torment,
4.
because they...
Be-
Yeah, absolutely. You're totally right. It's crazy how you can be put in a situation that you cannot run away from. You're practically stuck there until you understand first that you're stuck and that you have to run away. And then you have to pretty much make sure to have an exit strategy before you even confront the person, even if you want to confront the person, because a lot of times it is better to just like leave.
In this season, even if you stay in the relationship, you harbor no more fantasies about change. If you stay, it's for reasons that aren't grounded in denial or rationalization, but perhaps embedded in culture or practical issues. Some people get to the third season of seeing it, but the trauma bonding can be hard to push back on. But when you get here, you can't not see it. That's season 4. And as a result, you just don't take the bait anymore. You don't fall for it.
Yeah.
You still have feelings. You may be angry or disgusted or eye rolling, just as you would be if you saw a stranger doing these things. But it's not that same primal personal hurt it once was.
Yeah.
These seasons do proceed linearly, and nobody goes from the season of not being able to unsee it back to season 1, the season of delight and joy. It doesn't work that way. These seasons tend to proceed one after the other, and it can be hard to go from season 2, that devaluation kind of season, to season 3 without information or education or feedback, which is why for the longest time people got stuck in a sort of permanent season 2 of confusion and despair because there was no information. Season 3, seeing it, it's good, don't get me wrong. But season 4, not being able to unsee it, believe it or not, it's peace. It's a season of if it walks like a duck. It's a season of knowing that the good moments aren't good moments. They are part of the entire narcissism universe. Some people wonder, isn't not being able to unsee it bad? Having to recognize that something you wanted to be a certain way isn't? No, it's not. It's seeing it in a way that lifts self-blame, that breaks through confusion, and stops you from jousting at windmills and wasting your precious time and bandwidth on false hope. Season 4, the season when you can't unsee it, is a season of freedom, liberation, transcendence, and wisdom. When we focus on the love bomb, devalue, discard, hoover, we are focusing on how the narcissistic people are treating you. When we think of it in this way as seasons, it's a chance to reflect on how your perception of this relationship evolves over time. I hope this framework helps, and I'm sending you all good tidings to get to that 4th season. I personally think of season 4 as an endless summer because I love summer and warmth and green and long days. Some days may be a bit scorching, but something about summer and the warm days and warm nights is peaceful. Listen, you may find spring or fall peaceful. Use this model as it works for you. But recognize that you can't rush a season away, and it can sometimes take longer to get to each of these next seasons, take longer to get there than you want. But if you do the work, you will. Thanks again.
Listening to her
AlgaCal Plus
is so
increases
comforting,
bone
don't you
density.
think?
Can your calcium supplement say the same?
Like, I don't know, it's just like she feels like the teacher that everyone likes. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what she feels like. Let's see. I feel like I need a palate cleanser. Oh, what is this guy up to?
Lately,
He looks good today.
I'm so bored of life lately.
There's times where he just like looks like he's out of it. Yes, it's comforting because it's
There's
validation. Yeah.
no magic in things anymore. Everything has just kind of lost its spark. Things you used to do just kind of... It's very samey. And it's not that you still don't find them enjoyable. I do, for example. It's just the enjoyment and the satisfaction just seems to have disappeared. It's not about the reward, it's not about, how can I say? The satisfaction you get is more about you've done these things so much. You've got the t-shirt, and now what?
What time is it?
You've travelled, you've done all the hobbies you wanted to do, you got the job you wanted to get, you got your money, you got to 12% body fat, or you hit that run time. And now what? There's just no... There's no magic, there's no spark.
He sounds depressing.
It's like when you play a game, you play like an RPG, and you spawn into like level 1, and you can choose any direction you go. But eventually, you go over the whole map, you do everything, you learn runesmithing, you do all these other quests, you do all the side quests, you do the main quests, you fight all the villains, blah blah blah.
I was just thinking this is depressing.
And then...
Yeah, it's like...
once you finish that, you're now
so
back
he's
in
a
level
target.
1 being
He gets
like,
gang stalked too.
okay, I'm done now.
But...
time, the game's over. What more can we do? And that's...
Do you have any
where the boredom
suggestions to
sets
like
in.
any video
That's
to
where
watch?
just the lack of substance, the lack of, like...
I don't feel like watching.
I know this gets up.
Like I don't really feel like watching this. It's like, to be honest, it's like I'm exhausted of like
I never post stuff like this, but I had to share.
of like talking about gang stalking so much, and people with narcissistic personality disorder. Like, it is just, I feel like aside from helping people to understand it, I feel like it is just like me like doing the best I can to express all the shizzle that these people have done in the most productive way possible. I think empaths are more vulnerable. You know, I do so too. Like, I want to watch like something funny. Have you guys ever watched this the most popular girls in school? Like, this is like old stuff, but it is hysterical. It's like one of the best things that has ever happened to YouTube.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it.
Oh, I love that so much. It's freaking hysterical. I have seen all of the seasons.
Hey, popular people, it is Mark, Carlo, and
every single episode, the whole thing, so many times since it came out. It is just so hysterical, and look how old it is. It is like 6 years old. It is just been like a long time.
Yeah, listen, I'm running a resale business, but I can't get enough of people's unwanted crappy jewelry to keep up, so I'd like to buy some of yours. Oh, you do so good business! You're so clever! I guess I'll take that ring there. Oh, you make so good choice! And maybe I'll take that one for $300. Oh, that's best one! How about that Tanzanite bracelet for $9.95? You got good eye, you so clever! I getting taken advantage! You like a fucking Asian lady? What'd you say? I know! You walk by my store and you say, oh, there's a nice Asian lady, I think I go in and I fuck her! You Asian lady fucker, you! Wait a minute. How much do you pay for this stuff? Oh, I pay thousands, and you come here and fuck me! Okay, quit the act. I'm not fucking you and you know it. No, you fuck me! No, you fuck me! Fuck you! Yeah, listen, I'm running a...
What is happening? It was awesome tonight. Thank you. I have to go, but thank you for your thoughts and perspective is what I need. Oh, I'm super happy. I'm glad you were here. I hope you have a good evening. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. How do I exit this? Oh, here we go.
Hitting your goals has nothing to do with...
Hey, my name's Shay Van Buren, and I'm the most popular girl at Overland Park High School. I live with my mom.
I feel like watching this. So let's go watch one more, and then I'm gonna and then we're done with the stream because I wanted to hang out with you guys and just hang out. It's just been there's been a lot happening, I guess. Honestly, right now YouTube is for me honestly the safest place to be. It really is. It is where I can pretty much speak about everything, and know that my
Here's the
content
secret to getting
is gonna get to people
chat
that are normal before it gets to gang stalkers, which is something insane about being a targeted individual, that the most public place where you can express your thoughts is the safest place to express them, because you know that the people that are interested in that or in your experiences are going to enjoy them, and you know that typically that there's more normal people in the world than gang stalkers, I believe. That's what I want to think, and I'm pretty sure of that. And gang stalking literally just surrounds you so completely that the target is led to believe that almost every single person around the target has ill intentions, when in reality most of the people in the world are normal. However, gang stalking is simply a conglomeration of evil people.
Yes. And you say potato, I say blow me. All right, sweetie, have fun at your rehearsal.
Practice, Tristan. It's called practice.
And you say potato, I say blow me.
Okay, later. I love you.
Love you too. Now get the fuck out of here. Just kidding. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. But seriously, leave.
You ready to go?
Oh, please, honey. I'm ready to go like a closeted guy after 3 mojitos and a parachute of Molly.
All right, let's blow this shit stand.
Let's blow this shit stand.
Do you want to take a break?
Fuck. Yes.
Oh my God, we got a lot done.
That's because we're two bitches who know how to shop super profesh.
So, anyways, like I was saying, I am not getting that stain out of that dress.
Oh my god, no. You have to go to my guy, Don Marco. He is a wizard with semen. He makes an absolute killing off of the cheating husband market. I mean, look at this shirt.
What's wrong with the shirt?
Exactly. The shirt used to look like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Oh.
Spring break in Toronto? Don't even ask.
Oh my god, Tristy, you are such a slut.
Well, if that isn't the pot calling a kettle a slut.
What did you say, you little bitch?
You heard me, bitch.
Whore.
Skank,
cunt,
fucking twat. Oh shit, did I tell you? You know that guy Pablo?
The one with the...
Uh-huh. Well, anyways, Pablo walked right by me at lunch today. Didn't even say a fucking word.
Shut the fuck up.
I know, totally, right? Ugh, that guy is just so fucking BDL.
Oh my god, he's totally BDL.
Seriously, you look up BDL in the dictionary, the first thing you're gonna see is Pablo's fucking face.
It's like, Jesus, why don't you go buy yourself a big green polo shirt while you're at it?
Oh my god, can you imagine? Fuck him!
Why can't everyone just be as great as us?
You know what's better than us?
Us with some cute boys and a couple of wine coolers.
Oh my god, get out of my head, you bitch!
Hey, real talk for a sec.
Oh my...
So that I didn't realize how much cursing there was. So when there is a lot of cursing in any of the streams or videos, your stream gets demonetized. So I'm actually gonna have to edit this and re-upload it later. I didn't realize, I totally forgot that of all of the cursing. So if any of you guys enjoy this, it is called The Most Popular Girls in School. It's super funny. The only reason that they stopped doing the show is because the entire humor revolved around toilet humor, cursing, bad words, and a lot of their videos got demonetized. So they stopped making them. So that's FYI. I highly recommend this channel. It's hysterical, it's amazing, and I freaking love it. However, I don't want to get this video demonetized, so I'm gonna just have to cut it off. So guys, I wanted to thank you guys for being here. If you guys have any questions in regards to gang stalking, in regards to fitness, please feel free to send me a message anywhere on the social platform. I am obsessed with checking the messages. And my email, and asking for my email, if you want to send me an email, let me just tell it to you. It is anonymousmankindproject@gmail.com. How it's spelled, anonymousmankindproject@gmail.com. If there is anything that you guys are interested in us watching on the stream, send it to my email or just post it on the chat. I am tired, so I'm going to sleep. Tomorrow we are working fat milkers, chest, TRX, and I'm gonna be in my character of being a biological woman. If that type of workout, even though it's scientifically proven, it is like an actual workout. It is filled with satire, absurdities, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be tomorrow at 9. If you guys are interested in that, feel free to check it out. If you guys want to see what to expect, you can check it out on the live streams, on the live stream tab of the channel, and there you guys will be able to see some of the workouts. And yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Savannah, thank you so much for participating. I really appreciate you. Like always, it's a pleasure to have you here in the chat. I hope that you guys have an amazing evening, and I will see you guys later. Bye.